Hello again. So last time was kind of an audio fail. My sound was skipping off and on and made it really hard to actually sit through the entire video. It just seems like a big waste now. But I made some adjustments to my microphone, and I'm going to use this as a test video to see if I can actually post something up online that's more than a couple minutes long, and just make sure it's not skipping before I go and waste another 40 minutes. So if you were expecting, a more thoughtful video, I would suggest you just stop watching now, because I'm just going to run through some of my animal taxonomy that I've had to study for my zoology class. So here it is. So kingdom Protista, these are unicellular eukaryotic animal-like organisms. I'm only really familiar with 4 of the phylums, so here they are. Sarcodinia, these are the transparent shapeshifters. They move via a pseudopodia, foot-like cytoplasmic extension. They have 2 major groups, naked and shelled. Naked have nothing but a plasma membrane. Shelled have a exoskeleton called test made out of strontium or silicon compounds, and they have pores through which the pseudopodia may extend. Amoebas are representations of naked Sarcodinia. Radiolarans are representations of shelled Sarcodinia. Then we have phylum Euglenozoa. Euglenozoa, they're much smaller than amoeba even. They're shaped like pointed rods. They're positively photostatic, meaning they naturally move towards the light. They have chloroplasts, and they can photosynthesize. They're also flagellated, that's how they move. They have flagellum. We have phylum Stegophora. All of these are flagellated. Some of them even have multiple flagella. They're often called the flagellates. Some examples of some Stegophora would be Trichon nympha. These are the mutualist symbiotes that live in the digestive tract of termites. Dinoflagellates, these are marine plankton that bloom to create red tides, some of which contain toxins responsible for killing fish. Trypanosoma, these are blood parasites responsible for Chagas disease, transmitted by the tsetse fly. They have a long flagellum attached by an undulating membrane. Let's see what else. Leishmania, these are teardrop blood parasites that can cause serious lesions and are transmitted by sandflies. And there's phylum Ciliophora. These are the ciliated protists. Cilia are structurally no different than flagellum. They're just tinier, and there's more of them typically. Some examples of ciliophores are Paramecium, Vorticelli, which looks like a sessile cup with a coiled stalk, and Stentor, which is cornucopia shaped. Okay, so now that brings us to kingdom Animalia, and the first phylum we'll start with is Porifera. These are the sponges. Sponges are diploblastic, radially symmetrical, multicellular, porous animals, sessile, typically marine. They have water canals running all throughout their body. They were mistaken as plants for a long time. They have internal skeletons that can consist of either sponges or spicules, and it's the composition of these skeletons that tends to subdivide the phylum into classes. So they have 3 classes. The first is Calcario, which has calcareous spicules comprising its internal skeleton. The spicules are made of calcium carbonate. They're small and tubular shaped typically. Then you have Hexactinellida. These are the glass sponges. They have long, delicate spicules made out of silicon, in other words, beach sand. And they collect sunlight for symbiotic algae that live inside the sponge. And then there's Demospongae. Demospongae is the phylum, the class of the true sponges. 80% of all sponges fall under this category. They're also the only sponge that has a internal skeleton made out of spongens instead of spicules. It's either spongens or or silicon. Okay, then they tend to be pretty large. Then we have phylum Cnidaria. These are diploblastic, gelatinous, radially symmetrical, polymorphic, typically marine organisms with acellular mesoglia. Yeah, I mean, so they're polymorphic, so they have generally two phenotypical forms. The first is a sessile polyp. The second is a free-living medusa. The polyp has its mouth and tentacles on the dorsal side. The medusa has its mouth and tentacles on the ventral side. And the arrangement of these different forms is typically what separates them into classes. So, yeah, so the first class we have is Hydrozoa. These are the hydras. The adult form is the sessile polyp. The medusa form is reduced and ephemeral. We have Scyphozoa. These are the true jellyfish. The adult form is the free-living medusa, whereas the reduced ephemeral form is the sessile polyp. And then we have Anthozoa. These are the sea anemones and corals. They have a calcium carbonate exoskeleton. They have no medusa form. They're just all sessile polyp. All right, I think that's enough to go on. I'm going to see if I can post this up on YouTube, and I'm going to see if it skips like it did last time. And if it doesn't, then maybe I'll make a video of a little more substance. Okay.